What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Whiskey Delta, brought to you by Military Gaming League. I'm your host, Mike Karnowski, aka the Devil in Details, and boy, do we have a show for you today. It's going to be great. I've got two very amazing, wonderful individuals. We're brothers, in fact, that we're bringing to you for this special episode of Whiskey Delta. We look for the movers and shakers in the military and veteran gaming community that are constantly making contribution strides, growing positive communities, and just making the gaming world better. My two guests this evening, two brothers, as I said before, Crimzn and Lycan. Not only is one of them a veteran, the other one is still active duty in the service. It's fabulous. Gentlemen, thank you both for joining me. We appreciate it. How are you all doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Doing awesome. Thank you, man.
Wonderful. All right. So in preparation for these interviews, we usually get pictures, clips, stuff just flooding in our preparation channel. And this is the absolute first time that someone's mom was brought into the channel to just elicit the amount of pictures and things that came in, the pictures as kids playing video games. Family and documentation is clearly just a super important thing. I gotta ask, Lycan, we'll start with you. What got you into video games?
I think when we were younger, it was kind of like the novelty, fun thing to do as a family. Chris and I like playing games, just the two of us, but also to like the family. Like playing Mario Kart was like something we like did a lot as a family with 4 controllers with like N64, and then basically whoever would lose had to give up the sticks because we had 3 kids, 2 parents. So yeah, it kind of like helped build a lot of like competitive gaming really early on, stuff like that.
So, Crimzn, were your parents also involved? So it sounds like you were rotating through everybody, your parents and the 3 kids.
Yeah, so early on, we actually got a Sega Genesis. Justin and I had an apartment. We actually shared a room, and we had I can't even explain this TV to you. Like this TV sat in the corner right behind our bunk bed, and the Sega Genesis would hooked up to it. And we sat like our kids' chairs side by side in there, and we used to just slam games. Like we'd wake up. I don't know, man. We were kids, so like it could have been super early, or it could have just been like an hour after bedtime. I couldn't tell you, but like we would play. But like our parents have always been like super supportive of like playing games and just being like in general, just being competitive. Anybody in my family, including somehow our spouses, are all hyper competitive, and sometimes it gets out of control. Some games test relationships, but like as far back as I can remember, it's always been lose and pass the sticks. And if you wanted to play video games, you just need to get better so you don't lose, and then you keep the sticks. It's just the way we grew up.
That is a fabulous way to just bring family together and make you all better. It sounds like right from the get-go, you were always trying to get better because you wanted to play more and you wanted to play with each other, and that's fabulous. So, Lycan, I know you're already out of the military. What got you into the military?
It's not like a heroic story at all. I never had any plans to join the military. It wasn't like that I was for it or against it, but I just saw the college path and I started doing that, and I got very distracted by all the cool other things that you can do at college that doesn't involve, attending classes and stuff like that, and basically found myself flunking out. And I knew Chris was like trying to join at the time. I was like, I might as well try to do the ASFAB and see like kind of what that will do for me. And I scored extremely high, and the recruiter said, we have this nuke program and when we can give you a signing bonus for joining. And that was pretty much all she wrote for me. I was like a saving ticket for me as well as making money on it. So I was excited. That's pretty much what got me into it.
So then what got you out?
Also pretty much the same thing that got me in. My whole plan was never to be in the military. My plan was to like go to college. So then I just kind of focused my energy towards serving my contract and then going right back to college. And then I just recently, last December, got my degree in software engineering. And yeah, I would say it was like a very successful path for me in the end. And I learned a ton on the way that I'll never forget because I learned it the very hard way.
Sometimes learning the hard way is really the only way to learn it because you really figure out what you're made of. You got to do what you got to do. So, Crimzn, you're still in the military. You're still in the Navy. What got you in? And then the second part, what keeps you in the military?
So what got me in the first place? I guess you could use the phrase "going nowhere fast." Is that right, Justin?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. So I guess you could say I was going nowhere fast. I was enrolled in college. I wasn't going. I was enrolled. I was the assistant manager at Radio Shack. I had no drive whatsoever. I was doing some less than ideal things in my life. And I woke up one day and I kind of got an ultimatum, like, get your life together or go ahead and go. So I was like, well, I'm going to join the Navy. So I went. And the Navy recruiter was actually the only one there. So I went to talk to the Navy recruiter. Funny story, short one. My recruiter went UA after the day he talked to me. So it took my new recruiter about 3 weeks to realize. So that's what got me in, is I wasn't going anywhere. What keeps me in, actually, after recruiting duty, when I went pro in Rainbow Six, which I'm sure we'll get to later, with Justin, I was going to get out. I didn't like the Navy. I got orders to go back to a ship. I had 10 days to move from Kansas City to Norfolk. And then we moved, got on the ship, fell in love with the Navy. I realized I didn't hate the Navy. I really, really enjoyed training sailors and showing them that work can be enjoyable. You can love going to work. It's just about how you shape the work environment for your sailors and how you make your experience at work enjoyable. Like the famous phrase, enjoying the suck, or, I mean, there's a number of things, but your sailors have to always understand that, like, this is bad, but this isn't as bad as it could be. Or there's always something that we need. Like, we're working towards something better. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. No, that's great stuff. And you're right, creating a positive work environment for those around you. Doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're in the military or you're writing code or making a video game, or could be any number of things. You got to establishing a positive working environment for those around you and those around you is always an amazing endeavor. Absolutely. Lycan, back to you. What would you consider the defining moment in your career thus far? Talked about you getting out of the Navy. You talked about going to school for a little bit. So what brought you to where you are today?
I'd say, like, my biggest accomplishment would probably be the World Championships in February. Defining moment would probably be when a player from Spacestation Gaming, his name was Trippin, no longer part of the team, he asked me to become the coach for the team. I was still a player at the time, and I had never really considered switching to being a coach. I had only just been playing games, competitively for fun with a group of people and stuff like that. And I never thought about, like, taking it to that kind of, like, staff next step where you're like a part of something that you kind of, like, don't have as much control of, like, when you're a player, and you're just being there as, like, a purely as a leader. I think that would be the defining moment. That choice when I made to kind of, like, stop playing games and start teaching games is definitely where it all began for me, and found out how much I loved it.
That's awesome. Clearly, this dog is showing me how much he loves me right now. I don't know what his deal is. That's awesome. You can't ask. There's no better feeling when all of a sudden an opportunity presents itself that you weren't expecting, that you didn't see something inside yourself that a bunch of other people did and said, hey, we think you'd be great at this.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about a real potential rise to the challenge, and obviously you're doing really well with it.
Thank you.
Which is
he's doing okay. Just chill. He's doing okay.
I mean, you're probably contractually obligated to say that your brother is just doing okay. Yeah. So, all right, Crimzn, back to you. Same question so far. So, what would you say? You in your journey so far, you've done some pro playing, you've done some Navy stuff. Mixed between the two, family life, all rolled together in a giant big ball. What's the highlight that you want to bring out for the folks at home?
I would say after recruiting duty, I was stationed. That was the 10 days I had to transfer. In that period of time is kind of really interesting. I had met my wife day one, season one, game one of Pro League, and that was our date night. I asked her out, and that was the day, and I went on a date with my wife, now wife, and it could have been the end of my gaming career. I was able to be kept on as a sub, but I made the decision. I was like, man, this girl's way out of my league. I'm going to make this play real quick. We went to Topgolf, had a great time. Fast forward, I got orders to the USS Monterey in Norfolk, and I had 10 days to transfer. Obviously, we were living together at the time. We weren't married yet. Drove her. I said, hey, let's go get a massage. Drove her to the ring store, and I was like, so instead of getting a massage, how about we just go ahead and get married? And she said, okay. And we went in. She picked out a ring, and about 10 days later, we got married. Then drove to Norfolk. The USS Monterey was absolutely a turning point in my career. I had the two best captains that I could ever meet in the Navy. That really showed me that like the Navy is where I want to be, and I want to be training sailors, and I want to get to the point where I can make these decisions.
If people want to get a hold of you, very important social media link drop. If Crimzn, will start with you. If folks want to get a hold of you via social media, Twitter, Twitch, what do they got to do? Where do they got to go to find you?
So at Crimzn R6 on Twitter, and it's the same thing on Twitch and every other social media platform. My Discord, if you go to my Twitch, just !Discord gives you an instant invite to the general channel. Like I said, it's always free to kick it. I'm always here for advice. Gone through a lot of stuff in my career. I've had sailors go through a lot of things. There's nothing I haven't seen. Had a lot of long sea tours, had a lot of long mentoring sessions. So if it's just anybody who needs to reach out, talk to another service member, if it's a veteran who's going through a tough time, don't be afraid to speak out and ask and say something. You're not alone. Everyone's had those thoughts or these thoughts. So just make sure you reach out and say something. And if I'm your first stop, I'm your first stop. I'm here for you.
Awesome. Lycan, same to you. If folks want to get a hold of you, what do they got to do?
Yeah, I'm Lycan R6 on Instagram and on Twitch. And for Twitter, I am just at Lycan. I have the OG, which is exciting for me. Yeah, also to anyone that ever messages me, and I can see mostly from like your profile picture, if you have a uniform on, I always take the time to at least read what you say and respond. Because I do like to try to give any kind of advice I can. I don't think I can help you as much as Chris can, just because he's had a lot more experience in the Navy being in longer. But I can help, especially those who are like nukes with advice, especially like young nukes, like through the pipeline, and kind of telling you my experience and stuff like that. Other than that, I can definitely help you with like advice in getting into gaming, not just Rainbow Six, but also to any game that you're interested in, because they all kind of work the same way. Other than that, like if you just want to shoot a message or whatever, I do try to, like I said, if I see in your profile picture it has something military, I always like check it out because I'm interested. So yeah, that's it for me.
Y'all are great. We love you. You've been fabulous. This has been another episode of Whiskey Delta, brought to you by Military Gaming League. I've been your host, Mike Karnowski, aka Devil. We had some fun getting in the details. Thank you so much, and have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Why did you guys? Do you guys think Dark Zero has a 50-50 chance, or does it just look grim for them?
Okay, I mean, Veli, here's the thing, right? Dark Zero are the North American champions. That's great. But Space Station are the world champions. And I'm no geography major, okay? But I think one of those encompasses the other.
Yes. Rampy guns down Sky's diffuser, surrendered by the window in the kitchen, and SSG are in great shape. They're gonna swing themselves. 2 kills for Rampy in a row. Eclipse inside of the courtyard. He picks off 1, but that's it. But it came pretty close, and Dark Zero, honestly, they had 5 more seconds. DZ assembling over on the south side, but Thinking Nade sprays away, and he manages to take 1 down before Hyper comes in, asserts his dominance, but Fultz finds 2 kills. Hot and Cold going for the plant. He's smited, and Eclipses as well. Thinking Nade inside of the vault. He'll mow down Eclipse. 5 seconds remaining, and it's absolute chaos. Skies tries for his best, but he can't do it. Hot and Cold immobilized, and he's finished off by Canadian.
Hyper planting the diffuser downstairs. It's all on Rampy. He sees the planter and stops him dead. That's huge. He should be able to deny this easily, and here it is. The denial with the knife.
Only man at the moment to slow them down, but he does just that. Finished off by Hot and Cold. He breaks his goose egg. Fultz takes out Sky, so it's a 1v1. Trying to finish off. Hot and Cold will need to pop up. Fultz doesn't see him, but he gets the clutch.
And take this round just off of that down. But Hot and Cold just pick back up. And Eclipse's gun returns to the site. Stuns and EMPs go in. The push will work out for SSG. Fultz landing his shots, as is Rampy with 2 big kills. Skies is down. It's all on Mint, who whips out the SMG to deny the plant, but he can't get the angle. He's trapped in a corner. The shield will assist him, but not enough. SSG with the massive comeback.